Kopitar, back to Durzi. Kempe. Durzi, shot, scores!
Ice is ready, and we are back, babes, with another episode of the Empty Netters podcast, and we've got another unbelievable interview for you here. CP is gone. The kid's at a wedding, but he was there for the interview, so don't worry. I'm not going to waste your time. I want y'all to get right into this one. We've got our boy Sean Durzi on the podcast today. Durz, an unbelievable player for the Kings, then got moved to the Yotes, and now he is the first player extended in Utah Hockey Club history, and he could not be more fired up. This guy is busting his ass, training every single second of every single day in the summer in Toronto right now. We just had an amazing interview with him, so I'm going to kick it to him right now. You guys enjoy. Durz is unreal. Have a blast. We are currently joined by a Mississauga native. Unbelievable.
Nice pronunciation.
Yeah, I think I crushed that.
Nice pronunciation.
An OHL champ with Gulf Storm, a Mem Cup All-Star, the 52nd overall pick in 2018 by the Leafs, a former member of the LA Kings, Arizona Coyotes,
Technically.
and now a current member of the Utah Hockey Club, and a huge Christmas fan. Happy Christmas in July. Sean Durzi, welcome to the Empty Netters podcast.
Cheers. Thanks for that intro. I mean, Mississauga pronunciation was probably the highlight of that, but
yeah. And
I'll
you
take
picking
all the
July
nice words
25th.
you said too.
Yeah, you picking July 25th was special too,
Yes,
dude. Little
this
Christmas
is
in July action.
Special stuff.
Dude, is it when we were, getting into the interview, we saw that you were originally a goalie in Learn to Skate, and then Sue, your mom, was like, hell no. Was it because she was like, I don't want my son getting peppered with pucks, or was it because she was like, I don't want him to grow up to be a weirdo?
No, you know what? My mom has like a certain type of energy that I get it from her. And
Yeah.
she's like very, social, energetic, and I just don't think her heart rate could have taken me in net, and she just did not want to see it. So I think
she put a stop to it early. Yeah,
quick.
she knew.
Quick,
was
like
smart.
she knew. Smart. Honestly,
you-
probably a good financial move too.
Yeah,
like,
yes.
Now that I think about it.
No question about it. Did
I
you
was
put up a
told that she
fight?
couldn't do it. I did. Yeah, I did. I loved goalie. I honestly thought it was the coolest thing ever until she convinced me that it wasn't the coolest thing ever, and now I'm not a goalie. So it worked out for everybody, I think,
Yep.
in the end. But
Yeah. At
Good
the
call
end of the
by
day, that's a point, Sue. Like,
Yeah, plus one.
Yeah, plus
clearly we
one.
got to the got
yeah,
to the
might
right
have fought her at the
destination.
time, but she ended up winning that one.
Why D though? I feel like 5-year-olds want to play forward, dude. Like, how was it? Just because it was closer to goal?
That would have been too much of a jump.
Yeah,
dude.
like
the
how'd
next
you
step
get
is
D there?
You want me to be honest? Like,
Yeah.
So it was probably a jump. You're right, the next step, but I just don't think I was like good enough to be a forward at the time. I think all the
Okay.
forwards, like when you're younger, are just so skilled and fast and can shoot. I think the D are just, maybe a little bit slower. I don't know. I was a pretty late bloomer. I wasn't a great player, so like maybe that's just where I fit in at the time, and I think that's where I ended up staying. But
Yeah.
it worked out. Like I said, like it all fell into place.
Durs, we always make this comparison because that is so funny when you're young. We talked about baseball a little while ago, and when you're little, I feel like they always just threw the shittiest players in like center field.
No, right. When you're 5.
But when you're young, center field's so far away.
Yeah, fair.
So they're like, just go in center field. And then
Nobody's
center,
getting the ball.
yeah, and then center's like the second most important position in a baseball diamond.
Yeah.
And it's the same
Yeah.
when you're young in hockey. If you're like kind of figuring out, they're like, just play D. And I'm like, D?
We
Like,
need
what
it.
And
the
then you
fuck?
realize how important it is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's huge. Exactly.
It's
No,
such
that's what
a
happened
funny-
to me. That's my theory, at least. But I
Yeah.
liked it. I mean,
That's fantastic.
And then when
okay.
I found out D can score, oh my God.
Dude.
I was like, this might be the best position in sports.
Whole world
You
open.
get to carry it up all the way, dude. It's better.
I'm like, wait, I'm allowed to score too?
Yep.
Someone changed the game, but
Yeah.
yeah, it worked out.
Dude, so in 2017, you go to the draft and don't hear your name called, which we're going to get into in a second. But before we do, I wanted to ask you a question. Part of the reason you weren't drafted that year was because you had a bit of an injury bug during that season in junior. And I was reading about this article about it, and it was like, oh yeah, Sean's minor ankle injury turned out to be an extra bone growing there, which
Yeah.
required surgery. Dude, what the fuck happened?
Yeah,
That is
that was
crazy.
such a shit show, man. It was like I I remember I was in the summer and I was training and I was like, you know what, my ankle, it felt like, just tweak an ankle. I'm like,
Yeah.
I probably just tweaked it. Like it's not feeling good. And then every time I was on the ice, it was bugging me. Everything I did, it was bugging me. So then I get it fixed. I get it checked. Someone's like, your ankle's fine. Like,
Oh,
buddy, what do you
really?
like? So I'm thinking around, like I'm sitting alone. I'm like, am I just soft? Like, is this like, what's going? Like, I swear I thought I was a tough kid and I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe I'm just soft. Like, whatever, tape it up, take an Advil, you'll be fine. Um, doesn't go away. At this point,
Yeah.
it's like affecting me. Like, I can't run.
Yep.
So I go see my dad's cousin is a doctor, and he has a friend who's a foot specialist. He sets me up with him. I'm still, in Canada. I'm not getting any special treatment. Like I'm trying to find my own, doctors, anything like that. Like there's no one like looking out for me in junior, especially at
Yeah.
the that level. So um, it's the off season. So I find this doctor, and he takes the thing, and he goes, you got this rare thing and it's a little extra bone and honestly, like usually people would hear that news and be like so pissed off, but I was just like, I knew I wasn't soft.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
was like,
yeah. You're like, fuck yes, dude. I'm not a little bitch. This
And
is
he's looking
huge
at me
news.
he's looking at me like I'm nuts, but I was just happy to find out that I wasn't actually a bitch and
Yeah.
I could actually I was feeling something. So after that kind of sensation went away, I was a little bit pissed off because it happened maybe 2 weeks before camp. They found
Yeah.
out that I had to get surgery, so it kind of screwed me. But
Dude,
Yeah.
we
And
gotta
then it happens.
fire that first doctor because he's
Seriously.
like, "You're fine." I picture it's like a bone is like jutting out of his foot. He's like, "It looks fine to
Yeah,
me." I'm like, that bone is not supposed to be there, bro.
no, I was the first guy to be staring at my ankles, like, okay, they both look the same. Like,
Yeah.
there's no swelling. I should be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just shitty timing, and obviously, like, I made the choice to go to the OHL because I knew I was a late birthday and I was going to have 2 years. So I played my
Right.
first year, pumped coming into my second year. I was training so hard that summer. Then I find out that happens. It puts a wrench. You miss training camp.
That was a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's 30 steps behind everybody else. So
Dude,
it
did
was
they
shitty.
just cut the bone out? Or like,
Yeah,
what happened? They
what
just
was
were
that
like,
Yeah,
yeah.
cut it
surgery
out.
like?
Yeah.
And then what was the recovery like, dude? Like,
Yeah,
did you have to like relearn how to skate, or was it
It
just kind
wasn't,
of a
you know what? It was bad because it was in the back. So
okay?
Oh,
it,
damn,
it
dude.
just my this way, like my extension wasn't great in the beginning, but I was lucky in a sense that I had Andy Brown, who was my trainer in Owen Sound, and he looked after me, better than anyone I could have asked for at the time. And it was so close to training camp that I was allowed to go use the team. And he kind of helped me through my rehab. And in that sense, I was lucky because otherwise I'd have to be going find my own physio around my house
Yeah.
here. And so in that sense, it was good. Saved some money. Wasn't making any money at the time, so
Yeah.
saved some money. But he did a great job. And once I was back, I was fine. But it was nice to just know that like my ankle was going to feel normal again, because there was a second there where I was like, holy shit, I might have this hurt ankle for the rest of my
Forever,
life if nothing's wrong. Yeah. So that was fine, but it was just shitty timing.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
We'll go with, that leads into this next thing. So I always love when we find athletes who are like you in this, and you can get this from seeing the way you play, reading up a little bit about you, but you've just always had an unbelievable motor when it comes to motivation and also not letting shit get you down. That type of thing, the ankle situation happening that late in your career and late in your life, is one of those things that's like, that could have derailed so many people.
And then affecting that draft,
Absolutely.
like, fucking kidding me?
So,
Yeah.
not getting drafted that first time around, you have a ton of quotes where you said you were so determined, and your agent actually said he's never seen anyone on earth who responded as positively as you did. So you were more about proving people in your life right than proving people wrong. So just tell the listeners about, your mentality of, you had your first opportunity to get drafted, you don't get drafted, but then you just put your head down, work hard. You worked hard on your diet, on your training, stuck with your family and people who are helping you stay motivated. And what was that process like? And then how good did it feel when you eventually got to the draft the next year and you get scooped up by your hometown team?
It started honestly like when I was younger. I was, played double A my whole life, and then it's always people say like you think you're working so hard, but you could always do a little more. It doesn't matter what you're doing in life, you could always do a little more. And I was probably it's probably a year before my OHL draft, and I thought I was doing I decided to, try to take the next step, and I was like, this is what I want to do. I can't just play double A, and I want to make the jump. So I made the jump, and I wasn't good. I was a seventh defenseman on a triple A team. There's only 6 guys playing, so I had to do something. I spent as much time as I could. But anyways, fast forward, I got to that draft, and I remember sitting there with, my family, my billets, and then my buddy Nick Suzuki, who was, sitting with me. He got picked the day before. But I just remember sitting there, and I remember knowing that I probably wasn't going to get picked. And it was the 6th round because I was getting texts saying, the Florida Panthers want you to come to their development camp, the Islanders, the Leafs. And I'm like, there's 2 more rounds left. Like, is this not going to happen for me? And I kind of figured it wasn't going to happen. But I remember kind of taking a moment and just like looking around me and soaking in like the people who were with me there, and didn't move for the whole draft. And I wasn't as pissed off about myself not being picked. I was just pissed that, these people were going to be feeling sorry for me, and I didn't want them to. And I told my mom, I said, Mom, listen, like, this is going to, I'm honestly like, it's a little bit emotional because I remember that I literally thinking about the day, like, it was harder than I thought it was going to be because I thought about the worst case scenario and I was like, I'll be okay. But it was harder than I thought. And I just remember thinking, everybody who's sitting at home watching the draft, everybody who is sitting beside me right now, like, I'm going to do this not for these guys sitting on the floor and not for the 31 teams that one day when I make it, I'm not going to go and say, fuck you. Like, you guys didn't pick me. You didn't believe in me. But I'm going to say these people who are beside me, the people who are at home, they believed in me. And that's who I want to prove right. And you know what? If you're on my team, you're going to be on the winning team. So that's kind of my motivation. Every time I wanted to do an extra rep that summer, every time I wanted to dig a little deeper, it was just thinking of that moment and, kind of going through that. But honestly, like I'm actually it gets me a little bit emotional because that's like what powered me through like everything I did. And then I heard an unbelievable quote. And it was, everything you do in life, before you do it, is this going to get closer? Is this going to get you closer to your dream? And if it's no, the answer's obvious. So it was literally doing everything I thought I could and then revamping that and doing even more. So it was like, I was a bit of a heart. Like, I mean, I don't know, I still am a little bit, but just like, I was so motivated coming out of that, and like I couldn't be more grateful for it. As hard as it was, like I remember my dad was the best at the time. He was like trying to act all like tough for me, and that's just like, he's just a perfect example of what a dad should be. Is just like never phased. My mom's emotional after the draft. My dad's like, all right, let's go for dinner. And I'm like, Dad, like, I'm like, Dad, I love you. I appreciate this. Like, just give me a sec. Like, let me regroup, go back to the hotel, and we'll go grab a nice dinner or whatever. We'll find something to do. But, it was tougher than I thought. But again, huge part of who I am and what I bring, and so much of a learning experience for me that like, I can't be more grateful for it now.
Stuff that stuck with you today, right? I would say, like
100%.
Getting up at 4 a.m., training all summer,
and everything.
Yeah, these are the lessons learned in that moment. What is getting me closer to my dream? I love that, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How do you maintain? Because that's the thing that, I love hearing stories like that. First of all, the fact that you even went to dinner with your family that night, I would have been like, guys, I'm going to spiral into a depression for 6 weeks. I'll see you later this summer.
It was tough, man.
But you clearly, you put your head down. You had an amazing season the next year. And then obviously, boom, 52nd pick. How do you keep that mentality? Because you clearly still have it. For the listeners, before we started recording, Durz is talking about waking up at 4:30 in the morning to head out and train during the sun. Like the only off time you have, you're waking up at 4:30 to still train. So you obviously, you do unbelievably with the Kings. You get moved to Arizona, bang, you're the #1 D-man. You have an amazing season with them. now you just signed this awesome contract with Utah, such an exciting time, but you are still just as motivated. How do you keep that mentality after all the success that you've had?
I think two things. One is, I think once you get a little bit of a taste of success, I feel like raising your standard is so important. And it's just putting yourself in a different category. Like anybody can compare themselves to someone else and say, I'm doing great. You know, there's always somebody doing a little bit worse. And then there's always someone doing a little bit better. So I think it's where you hold your standards is really important. I think that's big for myself too. Like I can be, you know, happy with everything I've done in my career and say, you know, I'm pretty new to the league, obviously, but still I can say hell of an accomplishment. You know, I made the NHL, I've done this, but then there's another standard you could hold yourself to where there's a whole different class of players. And then, you know, even the greats, you could always hold yourself to a higher standard is basically what I'm saying. And I think that's been important for me is kind of always just constantly raising, you know, the bar for myself. Obviously it's tough, but you got to keep doing it. And another thing that I think I go through in the summer is, it was another quote I heard. I'm a big quotes guy. You guys will learn to realize, but
hey, you're preaching to the choir. I love
this. It's a good one for the off-season training because everybody, you know, feels good days and everybody can go in, work out, you leave, you have that kick of dopamine after you train. But the best thing I could ever think of in the summer is it doesn't start counting until you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So those days I feel good. I don't even get excited for it. It's, you know, I'm like, shit.
What a waste.
Today.
What a waast. Yeah.
What a waste. But
That's
those
that,
days where you're hurting and you got to get up and go train and push, even it affects anything in life. When you don't want to do something, but it will help you in some aspect of your life, those are the days that count. So it's cool when you get those days because you feel like you're pushing through something, but it's something I kind of live by too.
For sure. That's that. I think it's like that Arnold Schwarzenegger quote. He's like, I don't start counting reps until it starts hurting.
Yeah.
Like, fucking Jesus
That's hilarious.
Christ,
yeah, that's the best. Good quotes, guys. I like that.
Yep. So, dude, you drafted by the Leafs, hometown team, like Dan said, but then you get moved to the Kings, right? And you're playing for the Reign. You're in the A. And then, dude, you get called up for your first NHL game against the Leafs and pop your first NHL goal with your family in the building. So obviously you were super emotional at the draft.
And an apple, dude.
Yeah, I know. But being selected by them. And then, you know, I think I saw a cool quote too from you that was like, it's like a movie script. You know, you come up against the Leafs, whole family there. Just talk to us about the emotions going through your head, even pregame, right? Like you're getting that shot and then to pop one against the Leafs with the family. What was all that like?
Yeah, that was, you know what? So I got called up the day or the game before. They were playing Arizona, actually.
Yep.
Figures, but I thought there was maybe a chance that I played in that game because I knew there were a ton of injuries. I was a little bit lower on the depth chart, and I knew that I honestly needed a crazy break for it to happen. It was the last year of my deal, and I'm like, I got to make a push. Like, I got to try to, you know, do something to peek my foot in the door. Obviously, you never wish injuries on anyone. I got, you know, lucky with the opportunity. These are all guys I looked up to, like Walks, Roisey, and Dewey. Like, they're three guys who I'm coming up the pipeline. I'm like, these guys are unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, these three right defensemen. How the hell am I going to get any better or get a look in front of these guys? Anyways, I get that look, and it couldn't have gone better. I remember my dad and my brothers. My mom was on vacation. Shout out Sue again.
Yeah.
She booked this vacation like a year in advance, and she finally was going away with like all of her friends just to it was in Dominican, I think, just to a beach, relax. I give her the call saying I'm getting called up.
You're like,
She's
Sue, you're like,
freaking
Mom, Quickie got hurt. They need me in net.
She's like, God damn it, Sean, no.
Decline.
Yeah.
Anyways, so she's freaking out. She couldn't come. I didn't play the Arizona game. So I remember I sent my dad and my brothers to Chargers versus Steelers game. It's my youngest brother's favorite team versus my other brother's favorite team. So it worked out perfect.
That's sick.
Love that.
I went to go watch that game, and I look at the schedule and I see the Leafs are up next, and I'm like,
Come on.
please God, give me this chance.
Yeah.
And I said, just give me this look, because it couldn't have worked out. Like, if you're writing a story about, myself and my career, like, to have that game would be unbelievable. So that was a big part of it. And yeah, obviously the game went the way it went.
When do you get called? Is it like, you wake up in the morning and it's like, bang, you're in?
So Todd does it. I found out probably, I remember watching the Arizona game, and I knew if we lost, if you win a game, why would the coach change anything? Arizona wasn't great. I knew after we lost that game that maybe they were going to be looking to make some changes. I just didn't know who they would change. I didn't know who they'd put me in front of or whatever. So you walk into the rink in the morning and the lineup's on the board usually.
Yeah.
I see my name at
shit.
third pair right D, and I'm like, holy fuck, this is happening. Like, this is
right
away. Like, your heart starts going. You're like, I got to get back into my routine. So, right away, you got a day to prepare and you get after it. But it was pretty exciting.
Are you too nervous? Because I imagine the answer is yes. But are you just play your game because it's an NHL game? Or because it's the Leafs, are you like, it would be so sick if I got a goal? Like, does that even cross your mind? Or are you
you know what? Like, it does cross your mind. You're like, at some point, you're like, it would be so sick if I just got a hat trick and beat the shit out of this team. But no, I just knew, like, my biggest thing is when I came to pro, I told you guys, when I found out D could score, it's all I wanted to do. So I just worked so hard at it. When I came into pro, I had to kind of mature my game in other areas, obviously. And I did so much in the American League that I knew I had to show them at the NHL level if I wanted to stay, because anybody, there's so many skilled players coming up nowadays that anybody can play offense, but to do just the little things I knew was so important to NHL coaching staffs and to pro coaching staffs that it was more on my mind of just defend well, break pucks out, do what I got to do. If the offense comes, it'll come. I'm not going to try any crazy shit I was doing in the American League that year, but like, just play a solid game and hopefully we win and I earn another chance. My first shift, I got scored on.
Yeah.
So I was
dash one, dude.
Yeah. And Kerfoot, who I play with now, will never let me live that down. He still gives it to me. He's like, you remember your first shift in this league? And I'm like, yeah. But it could have went. I got to the bench and I'm like, holy fuck, this could be bad. This could be really bad. I mean, we didn't play the best game. The Leafs were pretty sick, and we had so many injuries and so many new players that we didn't really mesh well at the time. But I did end up having a decent game other than that play. And it earned me a chance, and that's all I could ask for. I mean, I got lucky. Matt Roy changed. He was running the first unit, and he changed a little early. And I got out there with the first unit, and Kopi just gives me one of his juicy backhand sauces to the point. I see a guy standing in front alone, and I just block out. You lay a shot in there right where you think you could tip it. RV tips it in, and the rest was kind of history from there.
Incredible, dude.
Did you have an opportunity? Like, were you in Toronto that night? Did you meet up with the fam, with the friends? Like, was any of
that was in LA.
That was in LA. That's right.
Yeah, it was in LA. But my mom actually found a flight because I told her I said, Mom, we lost the game. If there's a game I'm gonna play, it's gonna be this one. Like, Todd would not be happy dropping points to a bottom half team that year. We wanted to make the playoffs. I said, if there's going to be a game, so she had like 3 connectors, and she did everything she could to be there, and she ended up making it. So it was fun.
I hope you guys went to a sick dinner after that one too, dude.
Yes.
Dad's honestly, like, well, boys, let's do dinner.
like you leave the game and I knew winning was so important, especially like we needed points. And if I wanted to stay in the lineup, we had to win, but the next best thing would be lose and have a goal and an assist or something So we got home. I was a little bit obviously pissed off at the rink because I thought maybe, we switch it up. And then we get home and it kind of sinks in and everyone's like, holy fuck, you just scored in the NHL.
Like, oh my God. So awesome.
It was crazy.
Well, dude, you mentioned guys like Dewey and Kopi that you got to play with and learn a lot from. And I feel like one thing that was very interesting with your time with the Kings is because of that logjam on the right side, you ended up playing left side a ton. And I was I'm a plug, but I was a defenseman. I'm a right shot, and I played left side a ton as well. And it's always been something that's fascinated me of how different of a game it is. And you're one of the few pros who's like openly talked about it does feel like a completely different position. But you got to learn from guys like Kopi, who basically has 2 forehands, how good he is on his backhand.
Silly.
And then it also just got you playing more. It got you, higher up on the depth chart by switching to that left side. So what was that like for you in adjusting, and how has it helped your game now, kind of being able to, pull pucks off the boards and shift back onto the forehand on things like the power play like that?
Yeah. I mean, so year 1 goes great for me. I signed a 2-year extension. It was just cool because even in the playoffs that first year down the stretch, I'm playing, 24 minutes a night. We take the Oilers to 7.
Unbelievable series.
I'm a rookie defenseman. There's not much more you could ask for. Like it's a hell of a series against the best players in the world. Anyways, I go into that summer. I ended up getting surgery that summer. I stayed in LA, rehabbed, finally got back to myself. Come back to camp that year, you look at the depth chart and everyone's healthy again. And, I'm like, okay, hold on a sec. Like if I want to play the minutes I was playing last year, it's not going to be on the right. I'm thinking in my head, I knew they tried a few different things in camp. It was never me on the left. Obviously, you never want to throw a second-year guy in a tough situation. They weren't happy with the way things were going. Called me in for a meeting and said, listen, we got a spot on the left. Will you play it?
Yeah.
And I'm not a fucking idiot. I look and see it's a top 4 spot in the NHL. And I say, absolutely, I'll play it. And
Durzi's like, no, dude, fuck off.
Durzi will switch. Durzi become a left shot,
honestly,
dude. I don't give a fuck.
Some guys will say no. Some guys will say no.
Yeah,
It's completely a different, like it puts you in a completely different spot. But I can't, again, like it's another thing that just like, I got so good at using my backhand in so many different ways and opening my hips, and I literally learned a whole new position.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy, but it's a whole new position, and it was so hard for me. But when I got to Arizona, one of the things they said is like, I remember at camp, I was paired with a righty for a little bit. It was honestly just like little scrimmages we were doing, and I was playing on the left, and they pulled me in for a meeting and said, like, wow, like you look like a natural, like you could play the left side. And I said, honestly, I've learned a lot of it. I'm much better on the right, but I can play the left, and I could play it well. I mean, I played that whole season on the left, over 20 minutes a night in LA. So like me and Royce, I thought ended up being a pretty good pair that year. Analytically, we were great. There was a few moments during the year though that you learn, like you can't do this on the left. It's just like, it's impossible. Like you'll put yourself in a bad spot every time, but it's the NHL. So there's you can't really say you need time to learn. It's the NHL. You got to be ready to go. So
for sure.
It was a fun year. Like I'd much rather do that than, play less on the right. You want to play as much as you can. And obviously that's the situation I was in. And, I thought I played better during the regular season than I did in the playoffs when they threw me back on the right side and said play, less than you did during the year. And obviously it was tough, but it was something I'm grateful for.
Taking a break from the pod to talk about BetMGM. Everyone knows that we have teamed up with BetMGM permanently because they are the best sports betting app in the game. It may not be hockey season right now, but we got baseball going on. The Olympics are getting dialed up, so there's plenty of sharp action for you to get involved in. And when you sign up with promo code NETTERS, NETTERS, they've got one of the greatest deals in the history of sports gambling going on. You can bet up to $1,500 on anything. Those Olympics, those baseball games, or you can wait for hockey season and get that sharp action from your boys right here. And if you lose it, you get it all back straight into your account and you get to do it again. What other sports betting app is taking care of you like BetMGM? Let me check real quick. The answer is none of them. So BetMGM is the only way to go. We've got all the picks for you all season long, and we're going to be riding with you all summer long as well. So get on BetMGM today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 in Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 in Puerto Rico, or visit www.1800gambler.net in West Virginia. First bet offer for new customers only, subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, North Carolina, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Babes, it's summertime. time, and right now I want to talk to you about my favorite canned cocktail in the game. And this is the truth. This is not a generic ad read that you hear and, oh yeah, I got to say good things. Listen, I'm not the biggest beer guy. It's blasphemous, I know, but I'm here to say it. I'm also not the biggest canned seltzer guy, hard seltzer guy. It's all that malt liquor, tastes like chalk. It's disgusting, makes your stomach feel terrible, gives me acid reflux. I'm not into it whatsoever. But what I am into is Ricky. Ricky is taking over the canned cocktail game because they've got real high quality vodka and tequila in their drinks and real fruit juice. So it tastes like an absolutely delicious beverage that's made at the bar by your favorite bartender. They've got flavors galore. They've also got a 7% ABV, which is way higher than all of their competitors. They've got about 1.5 shots per can, 2.5 if you get one of the tall boys. Ricky is making the party everywhere you go. Currently at my house, I got the garage fridge stocked with Ricky. I was playing beach volleyball last weekend, brought a cooler full of Ricky. The things were gone before I could even have 2 of them because all of the fellas were scooping them up as fast as humanly possible. Ricky is taking care of you with all of these amazing flavors. They've got you covered on the alcohol content, and the taste is actually genuinely amazing. If I'm going out and I don't want to have a cocktail because I don't want to get too banged up, but I want to have a delicious beverage that doesn't make me feel sick or bloated, Ricky has become my go-to, no questions asked. That watermelon tequila flavor, oh my God. Chef's kiss. It's absolutely incredible. It's my go-to. It should be yours as well, but if it's not, they've got a ton of other flavors to choose from. So go to rickyspirits.com, find out where the closest Ricky can you can get is, and also follow Ricky Spirits on IG so you know where they're popping up, what flavor they got rocking, because Ricky is taking over the game, and it's going to be your new favorite drink of the summer in no time.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's amazing, dude.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned the move to Arizona, right? So LA, you're just getting settled, and it's like they're trying to put this huge package together for PLD. You get moved to Arizona. I'm looking at that roster, and there isn't a ton of playoff experience on that squad and subsequently your squad now. But when you get to Arizona, there's not a ton of playoff experience on that squad, and you're coming from this locker room that has a ton of winning culture. Can you talk to us a little bit about what the move was like? Because you've been, like we said earlier, you've been traded from the Leafs to the Kings, but you were like, you're not even in the league yet, really. This is the first like big, it's a business move for you. So can you just talk about that move mentally, and then also what you were able to maybe bring from that Kings locker room culture with you to Arizona, to those boys?
Yeah, it's crazy because people talk about experience and mentors and all these things, and it's so much more valuable than anyone could even think in hockey. Like, you need good veterans on every team. Like, it is, from what I learned, like sitting down at dinners, playing in games, just them being themselves. Like, you're just soaking up so much. Like, they had such a good mix with Dewey being this energetic, competitive fireball, like unbelievable player. Like, I take so much from his game, but then you got Brownie, who I played with, Kopi, Quickie, like, who are just these like mature, ice in the veins. Like, they're always stepping up to every moment. They're not afraid of the big moments in games, and they never show like fear or any nerves. Like, there's just so much that I was lucky enough to take, where I can take bits and pieces of these leaders and these guys, that it kind of helped me so much that guys, I can't even explain like how valuable that was. And then to take it to a new team is like, I still find myself thinking like, what would Kopi do in this situation? Yeah. What would, Dewey do in this situation? And, yeah, I mean, it was huge. Like, those guys are the best leaders, if not in the game right now. Like, I'm lucky enough because I saw it firsthand, how much they drive a team and how much like teams can just be calm off them. But I think it was so valuable to me. And then to take it to a new team, like my D partner Moser last year, who's in Tampa now, he would ask me straight up, like, he's like, I never got the chance to play with these guys. Like, what do we do? Like, help me. He goes,
he's like, what would Dewey do, dude? Help me.
It's a very honestly, real thing.
Like, he's like, it's so hard to build culture. And I think I was lucky enough because when LA was a winning team, 2010 to 2014 or whatever, 2012 to 2014. then they kind of faded off. When I came, we made the playoffs that year, and they've kind of kept that winning culture since. But I was lucky enough, you see that fire come out of, guys like Dewey again and Kopi, like when they're a competitive team, like you see that competitiveness coming out, that I was just in that culture right away. Like I didn't have to suffer those years in LA with them where, last year I'm going to a culture where, it's tough to win games. It's the hardest thing ever. And I had a coach who used to say, it's so hard to criticize a win that you never should. Like you should just take your wins, move on. What can you be better from? But you should never be really upset about it. It's just too hard to do in this league. So, those guys are unbelievable. Like I can't say enough about just the people they were, like their families, how inclusive they were. Like they didn't have to. And I think Kopi, Phil, like all those guys knew my first year that I was going to have a big role. I mean, playing power play one, kind of taking Dewey's role as a rookie, that they had to make me feel confident and make me feel involved. So those nights where maybe I wasn't feeling great on the ice, Kopi would, say, listen, take a breath, do your thing. And I'd be like, just even that right there is all you need from a guy like that, instead of motherfucking me, telling me to get him the puck or, make this play, make that play. Like, calm me down, give me the confidence, and, I'll do my thing, because I've done it before. So I think there's too much I can learn. I could, tell you guys about them, and it's just knowing that I played with them, I'm able to think now, like, what would these guys do in this situation? And so many good leaders that I was able to play with and bring to Utah now.
And
For sure.
I imagine gave you the confidence too when you go somewhere else, because you had a cool quote that was like, it's sad. Obviously, I have relationships here. I like playing in LA, but Arizona wants me, and that's exciting and awesome. And you're elevating a role. So I imagine the confidence that those guys instilled in you was super helpful as you transition to the Yotes.
Yeah. Again, going back to my quote, proving the people who believe in me. You want a team. You think you're going to play your whole career somewhere. And obviously I learned pretty quick that that's not the case for everybody in the league. But I think it was important that, Arizona and the staff who are now in Utah made me believe that, they made that trade because they wanted me. And it wasn't LA trading me away. It was Arizona trading for me.
Yeah.
So that was important, I think, working towards proving them right, doing everything, possible to say, listen, this was a good move for your franchise and you guys will not regret it.
Yep.
I mean, it's just like that. And that confidence it's something that I took with me the whole year, and it's tough to keep it throughout a whole NHL season, but to fall back on something like that was big.
Yeah,
no doubt,
dude. There's a ton of articles out there that are like, Durzi's Keith Yandel 2.0 is Yance 2.0, because your offensive ability, the power play specialist, all that stuff. But we were curious if you're Yance 2.0 in the locker room pranks, because those are pretty big shoes to fill. So,
no chance. From what I heard, that guy's one of the biggest beauties who ever played the game. So dude, I mean,
Durs,
I'd be lucky to be half Yans on the ice, and I'd be lucky to be a quarter of him off the ice. So it's I got big shoes there,
dude. We're close with Yans, and the other day there was like this random article that was relevant to all of us, and Chris photoshopped it to have the article say something about Yans, and he texted it to him, and he was like, "Dude, can you believe this article's in US or in like People magazine?" And Yans didn't realize it was a Photoshop, and he was like, "What the fuck? Holy shit!" And then I had to be like, "Wouldn't that be crazy if that were real?" And then he was like, "Oh wait, that's not real." And then he goes,
"You guys get
dude,
at him too."
Well, Durs, he goes, "Do you guys really want to start a prank war with me?" And I got so scared. I was like, no. I was like, "This was Chris, not me. I don't fucking rope
I'm
me
on
into
your
this."
team. I'm trying to help
I was
you.
like, I don't want to be a part of this at all.
Shit.
Oh fuck,
God,
dude. Now that it's over, you got to just tell us quick, what was Mullet like? Obviously, it's a great college barn, and I know that you had good times there, but you can be real now. Like, was that a grind eventually after a full season of just like playing in a not NHL arena?
Yeah, that was such a tough situation, because I remember going there with LA, and we had the last game before the Christmas break. So that's already a grind in itself. You play so many games. It's the last day before the break. Those are the games that kind of get you into the playoffs. Those ones, if you can get up for those ones. But realizing in Arizona that it's also Christmas break for all the students, all the it's Christmas. Who's coming to a game? And a lot of people who live in Arizona are, snowbirds. So they're going home for Christmas. They're away for the holidays. So we played a game, and I remember coming out for warm-ups. I'm like, you know what? This is pretty cool. Like, it kind of reminds me of junior again. Like, the ice was really good, and I was like, this is cool for us. I thought it was going to be for a season, and we only played there once. So I'm like, this is all right. Then we play the game, and it's, it wasn't full. I blame it because it was Christmas, but it wasn't full. And I was like, I don't know how you could play 41 games here. And I was in LA thinking this, and I'm like, you know what? Like, thank God it's for 1 year. Like, these guys will get back into a National League barn. Then I get traded there. And listen, that was like probably one of the things where I was like, you want to play, because the fans in Arizona are sneaky, like, amazing. Like,
no doubt.
People are amazing. Like, you can't say enough good things. But I was worried about, playing there for 41 games, because there's those grind games, like I said, before Christmas, weekday games, you on a back-to-back. And it was better than I thought, if you want me to be honest. Like, that was the number one worry. It was much better than I thought, but it's exciting getting into a full-size arena again. Obviously, there's a little bit of work to do in Utah, but to know that there's plans and they're going to get it done, and we're going to be back in a nice stadium again is exciting. And you feel for the guys who went through it for the 2 years, but or 2 or 3, whatever it was, but it was it's gonna be good. Like, it's gonna be fun to be there.
Absolutely. It's a perfect transition. So when you're in Arizona and those rumors started flying, for us as people in the hockey world, just fans, when those started popping up, it's like Utah might be a serious contender here to take the Coyotes. We were like, no way, is that happening? And then it got more and more real. Were you guys hearing stuff at the same time as all of us, or were you in that locker room being like, oh, we're going to Utah? Like, did you hear anything before the rest of us?
No, we had when you got 10 guys on the bus refreshing their social media, trying to find out where we're playing next season. It was no fun. No, that was honestly, that whole situation was a nightmare to be a player in, just because there's so much that we don't know is going on. Obviously our PA did such a good job of trying to inform us, and still they don't know everything either. It's the league's business. It's nothing to do with the players. But the first day we heard the rumors, we started a 14-game skid, and I want to say,
dude,
we were in a playoff spot. We were playing good hockey. These rumors come out. We had a team meeting about it, and our team meeting was like, let's not let this affect us. Let's do everything we can, not let this affect us. Let's not talk about it on game days. Let's, keep it away from the room. Let's just try to phase it out. And we continued to go on a 14-game skid after that. So we didn't do a great job, but every guy will admit that, that for sure had a piece to do with it. It was rough because, guys got homes, guys got families. My contract's up. Everybody's looking around. We don't know where we're moving at this time. Like, Utah could be we had no clue what was going on, but once we went on that 14-game skid, you don't lose 14 games and make the playoffs. So we knew it was kind of done from there. The rest of the season was building almost for the next year and maintaining the distractions where you try not to, let it affect your game. But that was a shit show, considering we were all on our phones trying to find out what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, like the fact that you guys are finding out at the same time we are is insane. But you've done such a good job of kind of leaning in and immersing yourself in Utah stuff. A few questions for you. Had you ever been to Utah or Salt Lake before all of this? And
I haven't.
And you still haven't?
No, I have.
Okay,
now.
I was like, oh my God. Because, dude, we'll tell you, we spend about 2 or 3 weeks a year in Utah skiing, and it is gas. It is so fun. So I'm actually beyond psyched for you guys, because I think it's for multiple reasons. I think it's going to be such a rip.
You already got a taste of the fans going fucking apeshit.
Exactly,
guys.
I mean,
It's going to be sick. Yeah.
Day one, 20,000 people signing up for season tickets. Like, it is going to be a rip for sure.
It was sick.
I need you to tell us, and you've been great. You've been very political about saying you'd be happy with anything. You've got to have a favorite of the names. You have to.
God. Do you guys have a favorite?
Yes,
Let me
I
switch
do.
this up. What
I
is your
do.
favorite?
So for me, it's Mammoths and Yeti. And I think it would be Yeti if it was plural. But since it's singular, I'm not sure. So I think Mammoths. I think Mammoth is such a fucking gas mascot. And those, because I'm with you, it's all
I'm
about.
a fan of mammoths. Like
It's-
just like the animal, a mammoth is pretty sick.
It's
Like,
sick.
yeah.
And it's all, for me, it's all about the sweaters. And I just think Mammoths you have so much opportunity to have a sick ass sweater.
I was on Yeti, but then Dan made the comment that the Avs have that like Bigfoot footprint on the shoulder.
Oh my
and he was
God,
like, that's kind of Yeti, dude. And I was like, yeah, you're right.
Catch.
We can't also be
and that's
Bigfoot.
A rival too. That's gonna be division rival right there.
It's division rival and it's neighbor rival now.
Yeah,
so
that's we're right there.
Yeah,
you can't have the same logo.
I'm on Mammoth now. I'm back on Mammoth.
Gotta be Mammoth.
Yeah. What do you have one?
I really do like Mammoth. I was again first thing, like this is before you get like before anybody even knew this was going on, and we were still playing. We probably found out a little sooner than everybody else that we were moving, but we were joking around about the name, and someone spit out actually in the room Yeti, like before anybody even knew.
Yeah.
And we're all saying it, and I'm like, Utah Yeti. I'm like, that rolls off the tongue nice.
It does. It does.
So that's the only reason I loved it. But the thing is, when you look up Yeti, you see all these mugs and coolers now that pop up. Like the animal, the monster doesn't even pop up anymore. Like it's all about these.
It's true.
So I don't know. I honestly I like hockey club. It sounds crazy, and not a lot of people do.
No, stop. Durs, you're saying that because you're a soccer guy.
Name.
You're saying that because you're a soccer guy.
Yeah,
that's the only reason you like it.
I am, but I honestly like. It's class, like Utah Hockey Club. Like we're the club.
Yeah, you're the one in the league.
Like at least for 1 year, I'm gonna like our name, and then when we pick it, I'll get back to you guys on what I think about the new one. But Mammoth is sick. I always thought Outlaws was sick. Yeah, I like those three are pretty cool to me.
That's good. I'll accept those. Yep. I'll accept those.
Those three, I'll give you three of them that I like.
You know what's funny is like the black and baby blue is kind of fire.
I know.
Too. And you're right. Like after a full season,
I love it. If you got to ask me about that, I'll tell you straight up. I think our jerseys are sick.
They're
those
so
colors
good.
Are so cool.
Yeah,
dude. One thing this never could have happened, but when we were looking up names,
it could have happened.
We were looking. Because I like when it's regional. Like the name has to do with where you are and stuff.
Yeah,
so we were looking up animals in Utah, like most populated animals, and the most populated bird in Utah is called. It's a small bird, but it's called a snipe. And if you guys were the Salt Lake City Snipes, it would be the sickest fucking.
Is that real? Are you
yes, dude. I swear to God.
Swear to God.
The Salt Lake City Snipes. Dude.
We tried so hard. We were like blasting it on Twitter and on the IG. We were like, the snipe is the most.
Are you guys going to make me look this up
after
this?
Dude. It's real, dude. The most common bird in the state of Utah is a snipe, and you guys could have been the Salt Lake City Snipes, and that would be the.
My God.
That would be the greatest NHL team name.
I'm gutted. Dude. I'm gutted.
That would be cool, but I do like how we're Utah. Like I think that's
Me too.
cool.
That it's
caters to the state.
Yeah, it's absolutely sick. I have to know because you are a jersey guy, and like the fact that you like these jerseys
is huge. Yeah,
I'm a firm believer that the Kachina was a top 5 sweater in the NHL. And
it was a hell of a jersey.
Gun to your head, like are there a top 5 that pop out to you for jerseys in the league?
Yeah, I give you a top 5. I'll say, honestly, I don't know if I could order them for you right now, but just thinking in my head, you got to go. The Hawks are in there.
Yep.
Classic. Like that was, I remember my AA team had a similar jersey, and I just was in love with it growing up.
Oh yeah.
A lot of the original 6s are cool. Like the Habs are always cool. Like those colors, I just feel like pop.
Oh, dude,
I always love those 3 colors together. Kings. I love the Kings jersey, but
the ones now, right? The
ones now are sick. The ones now are so sick. They did a great job with those. I'm not gonna throw the Kachina in there right now because it's RIP for now, at least.
Yeah, right. I guess
Hell of
that's
a
fair.
jersey,
Yeah.
though.
Sure.
Hell of a jersey.
Hell of a jersey.
So those probably are in my 2 to 5. I got one more actually to put in there. I would say, I can't think of another one right now. I would say, I think right now ours are the sickest in the league.
I
don't
love
know.
that.
I think those
dude.
colors are
I love
sick.
that.
Love
And I'm
that.
not
too.
saying that to be, I'm not even saying that to be political. I just think it's so bold to go black and like a bright color like that. Like that is so sick.
Oh, it's nasty, dude. I mean, I
Yeah.
think they're going to be so fire. It's like,
Oh, the wing. What am I saying? The wings. I would throw
Oh, thank
the
God.
Red
Nice.
Wings in there.
Yeah.
Oof, thank
Yeah,
God.
I would throw
Thank
the
God.
Red Wings in there. Like those are classics.
They're
Like,
so
good.
clean.
The
probably
wing-
because I grew up watching them till June every single year in my life, but like
So
just
true.
so used to them. But those are for sure in there.
Yeah. Well, we love the jerseys and we love the new move to Utah. I know you've talked a lot about it, but you've got to be pretty fired up right now, man. It's like you look at this team, the fact that I love that we're talking to you and you're the first, big extension in Utah Hockey Club history. So you're here for the long haul, dude. Like you are a key cornerstone player for this team. You've got insane young talent on this team. And then it felt like overnight, boom, Sergachev's on the team, Marino's on the team, Cole's on the team. You look around the league, you guys have a stacked D now. You've got to be pretty pumped going into this season. New club, new barn, totally new franchise, and just a new start. How fired up are you?
Yeah, like listen, all you could ask for as a player is you want to win. It doesn't matter who you are. And like I said, like I was lucky enough to play with those guys and it goes quick. Like there's guys who are, when you're young, you're like, oh, I'm gonna win a cup one year. Like it's whatever. You have so much time. Like I'm gonna play 10 years in this league, whatever. And that's what guys are. I'm not saying that's what I'm thinking, but that's what you kind of come into the league and you just want to make it. You're not even thinking about winning yet.
Yeah.
And then you finally make it and you're like, okay, whatever. Like my first year, 7 games against the Oilers. I'm like, okay, now next year we beat them, and then you go a little bit further, and that's not the case. Next year we lost in 6, and then I get traded to a team that doesn't make the playoffs. So all you could ask for is to be competitive. I think the management did such a good job of going out and actually doing that, and making moves to show that they're all in Utah. And I think our ownership's made it clear right away that we're here to be competitive. And I know it's a process. I've said it so many times. Like, yeah, we want to go in next year and we want to win the Stanley Cup. Like, who doesn't want to do that? But there's so much that we have to learn. And hell, like if we do it, I'll take it. Like if we go year one and win the cup in year one, that would be sick. But I just know that it's such a process and there's so much you have to learn. Like to be in those big moments in the playoffs, like playing a game 7, a game 6, an overtime, like there's so much that you have to be able to grasp in that situation and kind of stay calm, that you can only get that with experience. And obviously there's so many young, good, talented players on our team that are still going to be able to go through that, and we're still all going to be able to learn from it. But like, I think that's going to be fun for us to go through as a group, but just to know that we're a little more competitive. We're bringing in proven winners.
Yep.
Like I said, that's priceless. Like guys who have gone through it for the culture, like that's huge. It gives you a kickstart. And then obviously the rest of us now just building off of what we're bringing in is huge. And I always say it's funny because in LA we were tight to the cap, and we knew that most of our development as a team was going to come from within. Mm-hmm. And that was key, is everybody having a good summer, coming back next year in great shape, playing game 1 of the season like it's playoff hockey, and doing your best to maintain that throughout the year so that when playoffs come, you ramp it up to another level. And, Todd McClellan and his staff obviously did a great job of leaning on us to do that. And we knew the same thing in Utah, I guess, is like a lot of our development was going to come within. Like if we brought in 0 players, we were going to be a team next year that has to be better than we were this year with the same guys we got. Mm-hmm. We're all going to be a year older. We're all going to be more experienced, and we got to bring a lot more to the table. But like I said, these guys just kickstart us. It's so exciting, and I'm pumped.
And dude, you guys, like you said before, were trending towards playoffs last year, right? So and there's no promises year to year, obviously, but that's just like something to build off. And dude, I think you'll get a little juice from, is a technicality, but like everything you guys do this year will be the first like
Fuck yeah.
Utah's first OT win.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like that's going to be cool, dude. So like, obviously it's the boys that have been in the league, but that'll be a really cool factor.
Dude, in Utah, I mean, like, you guys are going to be playing on a fucking Tuesday night, and that barn is going to be absolutely jacked to the tits.
It's going to be juiced. It's going to be literally juiced every
100%.
every night.
100%.
So that's cool.
Yeah, I fucking love it. Okay, Durs, you know what comes next. We play a game with everybody, so you got to play. It's called Pass, Shoot, Score, and we've picked some categories of things that we think you like, and we're going to give them to you. It's a ranking system. Pass is your least favorite because we know we all like apples, but that's not the coolest thing we can do on the ice. Shooting is your second favorite because puck's on net, baby. And then, of course, scoring, ultimate goal, that's your first. Okay?
All right.
So your first category, and then I don't even know if you've tried these things yet, but this is the most batshit stuff I've ever heard. So I got to get some intel from you. So your first category is Utah things. Pass, shoot, score, cornflakes, potatoes, fry sauce, and dirty soda.
Did you see this?
Yes, dude. What the fuck are those? Dude,
I
never even heard of them until I saw your TikTok.
I thought they were fucking with me. I'm like, okay, this is funny. Like, I signed my extension. I'm here doing media. Like, they flew me. I did a bunch of media. I did press conference, whatever. And I'm like, there's no way that's a real thing. Like, you guys making this up?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll play the game. So all three of them in one category, or you want me to split them up?
No, so you rank each of those three. You rank one of them pass, one of them shoot, one of them score.
Okay.
Pass, your least favorite. Yeah.
You said cornflakes, potatoes,
fry sauce, and dirty
all right,
soda.
I'll go fry sauce, score. Absolutely.
Yeah, that looked gas. That looked
yeah,
gas.
like that's going high blocker, right where I want it, and I'm selling and you're getting the whole thing. Shoot would probably be dirty soda.
Yeah, because it's coffee. It's coffee, right? Or what is it?
Yeah, what the fuck is dirty soda?
It's not coffee.
Oh.
Because coffee's not a huge thing in Utah. I would probably shoot that. Like, I mean, if it goes in, it goes in. But like, pucks to the net, right?
What is it? It's soda or is it?
I don't know.
It's like, I heard it's soda with, I want to say like creamer in it.
Christ almighty.
And
hell
lime.
Yeah, Utah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a Coke. I don't know. But that would be for sure my shoot. And then I don't know about you guys. Cornflakes, potatoes does not sound great.
No.
You know what? They actually call them funeral potatoes. I don't know why. I don't know why.
It kills
it's
you,
something
dude.
you bring. Yeah, it doesn't have a great name. Like that's part of the reason. I'm probably just passing that one off. But
that looked crazy.
I think that's smart.
Yeah, I think
someone else take it.
All right, your next one is teams that you love, Durs. So pass, shoot, score. Blue Jays, Cowboys, Portugal international team.
Portugal international team, absolute. I'll go low glove on this one. Snipe.
Come on,
like
dude.
the bird, like the bird we have.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Snipe in that one. Portugal national team, unbelievable.
Dude, you were, but like we do deep research. You were fucking.
I was gonna say, wow, like you guys got all my teams right here.
you were dialed in 2016 during Euros. Like looking at your Twitter, you were like tweeting every 5 seconds, fired up for that.
You guys went deep.
Oh yeah, dude. I went deep.
I was dialed. That's so fun though because it happens in the summer. I'm with my brothers, like, and we're Portuguese. Like, we're all dialed into the games. Like it honestly, like, we've bet our life savings on these games, but we just got pride on the line with each other.
Fuck yeah.
But it's so fun. Like, sports are I love sports in general. I'm a big sports guy, no matter what it is. But
we can tell, dude. It's I love it. Like, looking at any of your socials, like you were just as dialed into all sports as we are. And I was like, dude, Durs just fucking devours sports. It's amazing.
I'm sure when I'm done playing, I'll get into something. I don't know what I'll do, but we'll see. And then what was it? Pass? It hurts because, or I said shoot. I'd probably pick the Cowboys.
Okay,
but I'm like dialed into the Cowboys. Like,
I know.
Starting. Yep. I'm following. I got all their reports going on. What's going on in camp?
How is it that you and your brothers are a Cowboys fan, a Chargers fan, and a Steelers fan?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like,
did you guys just hit like random sim on Madden one day and you were like, that's my favorite team? It's
crazy because my old man's a Cowboys fan, and you think like, oh, we all got to take after dad. Like he's been a Cowboys fan his whole life. Like we're from Toronto, you pick your team. I guess
Yeah.
you're a lot of Bills
I was
fans.
gonna
but
say, yeah.
you're all around. You're all around really, but Cowboys were big for my dad, and he kind of got me into it. And I'm like, oh, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys. And then my brothers have the craziest thing ever. My mom is somehow a Steelers fan because she liked the colors, or she grew up and it was her brother's rival, and she just had to go against her brother. So she picked the Steelers. So the younger brother likes them, and then my middle brother liked the Thunderbolt on the San Diego Chargers jersey, and he's like, "This is sick! Like,
Yeah.
I need a Thunderbolt on my jersey." So crazy, but we like three different teams. It makes for a good little rivalry. When
Yeah,
they
that's
play
an
each other.
entertaining football season
Yep.
in the Jersey
Yeah,
household.
it is.
Like, fucking A.
It is, and it's cool because at least like, if the Cowboys don't make the playoffs or we go out first round like we always do,
Yeah.
no hate against my team, but it's
Yeah.
true. Like
Yeah.
then I can, if one of them are playing, I could cheer for them, and it's always good to see that. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't want them to win. I just want them to go far.
I mean, you must be used to that with growing up being a Leafs fan. Like I get it.
Yeah. It was touchy growing up. You probably saw my old tweets about the Leafs, but it was,
No, those have been scrubbed from
Yeah,
the
yeah.
internet, dude.
yeah.
So,
I
dude,
probably deleted those. So
you're gonna shoot the Jays then, dude.
Past the
that's
Jays.
tough too.
Or yeah,
Like,
past the
it's-
Jays, past the
I
Jays.
would
Yeah,
pass. I would pass. It's
Yeah.
not a bad thing being, myself. I do love a good pass. So
yeah,
but
yeah,
I would,
right.
I would have to. Out of those three, I would have to pass the Jays.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, it looks like you're a bit of a Chiefs guy on Twitter too, though. I gotta say, like I know you love the
that's touchy
Cowboys,
too,
but
yeah. We funny. Mahomes went through like an injury one time, and I don't know how we got connected, but we ended up talking about it a little bit. I think I was going through a tough injury time. So we were not shooting the shit, but just a few messages over Instagram talking about it. And I don't know, I just been a fan. Most people have been a fan of his since, he's been in the league, but he's just been a stud. It's just so fun to watch. Like he's kind of the young guy going against Brady, and he was always like just not afraid of the moment. Like he's just cool. Like I'm a big like fan of that stuff. Guys who are just dive headfirst into these situations and make the most of it. It's pretty cool to see. So I've been a fan of them. To see how they just keep doing it no matter what they got going on. It's a culture thing. Like they're just building such a good winning, and you see it like teams who are just like, they make the playoffs one year in the NHL, all of a sudden they make it for the next 5. Mm-hmm. Like it's just crazy how that rolls over in culture, and they built a good one over there.
If we're Chiefs Cowboys Super Bowl though.
Oh, Cowboys! Come on,
Cowboys. Yeah.
Okay.
Go Cowboys.
Okay.
I can't even watch them win a playoff game. Never mind.
Super Bowl was pipe dream.
Let's not get. I told you guys it's a process in the playoffs. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Dude, we go from goalie to defense. Let's just step by step here.
Goalie to defense. Maybe one day center.
Oh
but
yeah. Who knows? But yeah, let's just first is a first round playoff win. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Before I give you your next category, can you say on the air that Cristiano Ronaldo is better than Messi?
Oh, I live and die by that statement right there. Like I'll tattoo that to my forehead if I had to.
Dude, we were actually just talking about this, Durs. I don't know if you saw that ESPN like top 100 athletes of the 21st century thing came out, and Messi is 3 and Ronaldo's like 13.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is such bullshit, dude. Like they are
so garbage. Yeah, just
trash.
so garbage.
Trash.
Like
it's awful.
Trash.
It's a trash list.
It's a trash list.
It's not credible. But you know why they do that sometimes? Because now they got guys like us talking about it.
So
we're giving them more.
They got us.
We can't believe them. They got us. It worked, but we can't trust them going forward.
Yeah.
Okay, here's your next category, Durs. I know you're a bit of a tennis guy, okay? And this could be like me and you friendship altering. So, pass, shoot, score, Nadal, Joker, Federer.
All right. Score. Or should I go the other way? I've been let's dish the first one off.
Yep.
Okay.
Kills me to say this because I was rooting for him the other day against the kid.
Yep.
Past Djokovic.
Yes. We're off to a good start. It's D
to D, but it's a sauce pass.
Yeah, it's
D
silky.
to D, like, and he's walking down Main Street. Like, it's a good pass.
Yeah,
it's a good pass. Kobe backhand sauce. If we're
yeah.
I'm gonna put this one on the cage. I'm gonna be playing left D, and I'm coming down the left side. Don't love my options. I got a guy going far post. I'm shooting Nadal low pad
Come on, dude.
for
Wow.
maybe a scoring chance.
Yeah,
For maybe
yeah.
a
Rebound,
scoring
juicy,
chance.
juicy
Like,
rebound
these are
for Keller.
three stud plays right here. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kells is tapping in the rebound here.
Yeah,
And then I'm obviously scoring Federer. Like, the guy's just
Bar down.
all
Perfect.
class.
Perfect,
Yeah,
Durz.
Yeah.
like,
dude.
is that a good, credible list
We
right there?
are friends for life,
Yeah,
dude. We
that
are
was
friends
perfect.
for life.
That was perfectly
I
done.
love it.
God.
I love
Dude,
it.
have you seen Final 12 Days yet?
No, what's that on?
Bro,
Oh,
okay. I you can look this up for me while I'm talking about this. I think it's on it's
Apple.
either on Amazon or Apple.
Oh no,
Can you-
Amazon.
But
Okay, you need to text it to me after because I'm
Yeah,
gonna forget. But
I
text
will.
it to me after.
I will. Dude, this fucking documentary, it's about the final 12 days of Federer's professional career when they do that international
Shut up.
tournament.
Dude,
Durz, I'm not kidding you.
This is crazy.
I cried.
You'll
I
cry.
literally cried in the last episode because, like, it is just his relationship with Nadal is something I was not aware of, and like, he's just a perfect man. He's genuinely the most perfect professional athlete who's ever lived, and you just watch this doc and realize how amazing he is, how impactful. It was
That
insane.
is so sexy. I'm such a fan of a good sports doc.
Oh my god, dude!
And one of my biggest,
you're gonna lose
one of my biggest regrets in my entire life, so that year I didn't get picked. I ended up going to the Islanders training camp,
Yeah.
and they had the U.S. Open going on at what is it? Is it Arthur Ashe?
yeah, dude.
Yep.
So they had it going at Arthur Ashe, and it was Nadal versus Federer.
No, bro.
And we had, I know it was like, okay, you're here for hockey. Like, listen, you didn't get picked.
Does this get me
You worked
closer
your
to my
ass
dream?
off.
Does watching Nadal Federer get me closer to my dream?
Just dial it in for a week. Maybe these guys give you a contract. Like, maybe they see something where they give you a contract. Just dial it in. But they played, and I'm begging, like, all these guys who are draft picks. I'm like, let's just go watch. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have any money at the time, and I'm like, I'll buy your ticket. Like,
Yep.
this is the craziest event. Like, we might never be able to see this again. And I didn't go. I sat in my hotel room, and I watched it on my TV. And I, to this day, will regret not going to see that match. But
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
fuck, would that be cool?
Dude,
Like,
it would be
I can't believe
epic.
I couldn't get it. Maybe it's me. Like, maybe I'm a bad guy and nobody wanted to go see it with me. But like,
No.
I begged guys. Like,
Dude, I've seen
I
Roger.
begged guys.
I've seen Roger live once and will only see him once
Yeah.
in my life now. And it was a tournament in Miami to Sony Ericsson on Key Biscayne, and he lost in the semifinals to Djokovic. But Djokovic was like 18, like no one even knew who he was yet.
No way.
And I was like,
That's
"Who?
sick.
What fucking loser just beat Roger?" I was so pissed, dude.
That
But
might be more rare. Seeing a Federer loss.
I know,
That's
dude.
crazy.
It was nuts.
Seriously. I'll text that to you and then tell me you've seen
Yeah.
you
tell
must
me you've
watch
seen
that.
Beckham, the Beckham doc on Netflix.
Yeah. I saw
Okay,
that.
good. I was like, that
Sick.
looks fucking sick. Okay, your last one, Durz, your last pass shoot score. It's gonna be music festivals.
Yeah.
Pass shoot score. Veld, Boots and Hearts, and FEC, the Festival de Quebec.
Okay. Is Feck like Osheaga kind of? Like, what kind of music is that Feck?
Bro.
Like, I think it's like a.
I'm glad you asked, because I wasn't sure if you've been to FEC.
Yeah.
Because if you have, it seems like
I
you're
know
a pretty
there's like
big
a
festival guy.
Osheaga. Osheaga is the one in Quebec that I know about. It's got like, because I would probably put that. That changes it for me. Like that changes my list. I need to know what kind of they got at Feck. I know Osheaga though, and if we want to go, would you have a list there?
Well, I got the 2024 lineup.
Dude,
Apparently,
FEC
like,
is sick.
it's a big.
Give it to me.
They said it's the biggest one in Canada. Encompasses all types of music. We got Nickelback, 50 Cent, Jonas
Yeah, okay,
Brothers,
this is-
Offspring, Zach Brown Band. Like it's
Yeah.
they're all
okay,
over the
so
place.
okay, I would for sure score that festival. Honestly, Quebec and Montreal and I don't know, just as a whole is such a cool place. Like,
so cool.
just reminds me of I'm going to see Deneau in a couple weeks, and I'm pumped because I just love everything about it. Like, it honestly feels like a different country.
It's Europe.
pretty cool.
It's Europe.
Yeah, it's the Europe of it's Europe as close as you can get.
100%.
But I would say that'd be my number one. I
Hell
would
yeah.
for sure score that.
Okay.
It's a good shot. It maybe 5-hole coming
Yeah,
down
yeah,
the wing.
yeah.
I rip one quick. You know, it goes in. Nothing crazy. It's
Yeah.
not. It's nothing that we haven't seen yet. It's nothing we haven't seen yet. But I would shoot Boots and Hearts.
Okay.
I would shoot Boots and Hearts. And honestly, Veld was just like such a phase for me. It was, I don't know if I could do that ever again. Yeah. Like that was, I'm sitting like in the crowd and it's hot and it'd probably be way too much for me now. But I mean, I do like some EDM and like dance music. So I wouldn't be against maybe like sitting back in a nice chair and listening, but I wouldn't be in the crowd banging my head off the floor and going nuts. I wouldn't be at a Boots and Hearts concert, relaxing, having a good time.
Yep.
I like it. I like it a lot. That's I was gonna say we got to get you to Coachella, but Coachella might be too much for you.
It's also like mid-season, like we gotta the schedule would have to line up perfectly.
Yeah,
I know. Seriously. So honestly, like I remember when I played in LA, I was like, it's either for you guys, because I was talking to the guys, I'm like, it's either Coachella or playoffs, and I think every guy in here is picking playoffs every single time of the year, and we made the playoffs that year, or both times that I was there, so I missed it, but we're picking playoffs over that. 100%. It would be sick. And then what's the other one they got out there? Stagecoach.
Might have been like that more.
Stagecoach would be better. Yeah. Stagecoach is more of a country vibe, a little chiller.
Coachella has become very EDM. That wasn't its purpose, but like it is so DJ
It is.
heavy
I know
now.
everybody dresses up in these crazy costumes now. I mean, I'd be for like it would be cool. I do like some of the music. Like it would be fun.
Yeah. Oh, it's fun. And that is the
stages.
thing. Like, kind of everyone's there. I mean, like, fucking Blink-182 was there last year. It was sick.
Yeah, that was gas.
Yeah, that's sick.
Shit. All right. Well, Durz, you smashed that. You smashed this whole episode. Before we let you go, is there anything you want to shout out? Anything you want to plug?
No, they're honestly not. I mean, I think we did a good job of shouting out my new squad, the Utah Hockey Club.
Shout out Sue. Shout out Sue.
Best jerseys in the league.
Sue.
Yeah.
Have to. Love my mom. No, it was great. You guys made it easy on me.
Oh no, dude,
I was prepared I have some notes over here for some hardballs, and then I wrote down how to pronounce Mississauga in case you fucked that up, but you did it good, so I don't have to.
Crushed.
We're all good on that part.
Yeah, we took care of each other. Well, dude, this was an absolute blast. You're the best for coming on, and we'll have to get you on again soon.
Yeah, thanks, boys. That was a blast.
Huge shout out to Durz, such a homie. I mean, we always say this, but it's just the case with these guys in the league. They're the coolest people in the world. Durz got me so fired up for Utah hockey. That team is looking unreal. They're going to have a monster season. That crowd in Utah is going to be going bonkers for this team. Unbelievable sweaters. I don't know if you guys saw that drop of just Keller in the jersey right now, that Utah diagonal across it. Oh my God, they look amazing. Hope you enjoyed that interview with Sean. He's a beauty. You're all beauties. Love you guys. Enjoy your day. That's it for us today at the Empty Netters podcast. We'll see you in a couple days for a new episode. And until then, skate hard.